I'm Kurt Ford, editor of American Voices. We all know how hard it can be to understand when somebody speaks quickly. One of the tricks of English is that often little words like these, function words, are not pronounced very clearly. The way we say them can change, and sometimes it may be hard to know just which word was said. So in this video, let's look at a few ways to pronounce these two words, of and have, and why it may be hard to tell them apart. All the examples you'll hear are taken from radio programs and podcasts, not from textbooks, so they may sound fast, but you'll hear them more than once. Let's start with of. When this word comes before a vowel sound, we usually pronounce the V, of.
Tired of it all. Tired of it all.
Just a feeling of aloneness. Just a feeling of aloneness.
In words like his and her, we often drop the H sound after a consonant, so his sounds like is, and then we do pronounce of with the V before this vowel sound.
For the rest of his life, recognition of his.
Hear that? Of his sounds like of his. But if the next word begins with a consonant sound, we often don't pronounce the V sound at all, so the word of may just sound like a very quick
He was almost out of money. Wheel of the bus.
Right in front of the White House. Right in front of the White House.
In this fragment, you'll hear the word of twice. Now, how would you expect each one to sound? Listen carefully and see if you can tell why they sound different.
Some of the varieties of English.
So here we have both ways to pronounce the word of. First, without the V sound in some of the, and then with the V in of English. Now let's talk about have. Have can be used with modal verbs like would, could, and should. You might hear it pronounced fairly clearly when someone really wants to make a point.
We should have grown up together. We should have grown up together.
But more often it's pronounced without the first h, and the a vowel sound is also reduced. So the word have sounds like a quick of.
Would have made it easy.
Could have experienced what I did.
And before a consonant, it may be reduced even more, so that all we hear is a.
Nobody would have thought.
I wish I could have lived that.
And this means that sometimes of and have might sound the same, like a very quick of, or even just a. So when you listen, you may need to think about the context to decide which word you've heard, of or have. In fact, of and have can sound so much alike that I've even seen native speakers make spelling mistakes like this. But please don't do this. It is a mistake. After would, could, and should, be sure to write have, or you can use the contraction. Now back to pronunciation. Let's try some examples. I'll play a clip, and you decide whether the missing word is of or have. You'll hear each one twice, and then I'll show the answer.
The unmaking of everybody, I suppose. The unmaking of everybody, I suppose. The unmaking of everybody, I suppose.
In front of the White House. In front of the White House. In front of the White House.
She would have remembered, yeah. She would have remembered, yeah. She would have remembered, yeah.
Thinks of her cousins almost like. Thinks of her cousins almost like. Thinks of her cousins almost like.
It must have been a wonderful trip. It must have been a wonderful trip. It must have been a wonderful trip.
And hear him talk of his plan. And hear him talk of his plan. And hear him talk of his plan.
Should have read that detour sign. Should have read that detour sign. Should have read that detour sign.
Many of the examples in this video came from Busman's Holiday, a great story from the Radio Diaries podcast. At American Voices, you can hear this true story of a New York City bus driver who decided to drive his bus to Florida. And you'll also find a list of words, a transcript, discussion questions, and more to help you understand natural speech. For more practice with this, visit the American Voices website for free mini quizzes and dictations. And while you're there, you can subscribe to my mailing list so you'll always know when a new story or pronunciation exercise comes out. If this video was helpful, let me know in the comments, and be sure to subscribe.